May I have some light, please? Good evening, everyone. So my piece is called 1984, Scene 1. This is basically a news program which would give you a brief scan of the world in the future in 2084, after the Third World War, after the Day of Judgment. Because this piece is basically discussion-oriented, so I cannot guarantee you guys can 100% get the point, but Sarah, Sam, and Corey, they put a lot of effort on it. So I hope everything will go well. And by the way, this piece, I believe, is a little bit more offensive than the song America Sucks Less. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Broadcasting in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. Welcome to Focus On. I'm Sarah, your anchor for today, and here's the brief update for today's news. Our Navy keeps the confrontation on the Indian Ocean with Australia still going. The total amount of warships has now gone over 100. In memory of the 35th anniversary of the Judgment Day, the President McKin has signed the order for the ejectment of 14 felonies to the land of Savage. Those included are 2 congressmen. Scientists find that the hydrogen bomb from former Russia might be the trigger for the volcanic eruptions that caused the Judgment Day. Religious leaders call upon gatherings in Jerusalem to celebrate Ramadan. The amount of new Muslims has constantly increased in the past 4 years. From tonight, our channel will broadcast a newly made documentary, Miserable Lives Behind the War, from year 2000 to 2020. Next session, today's focus. As we already heard in the news, the confrontation with Australia on the Indian Ocean has escalated in the past 2 weeks. To understand the reasons and the possible outcomes in the following period of time, we have Dr. Corey Seller from the Salvation Institute.
Good evening, everybody.
And Professor of History Sam Ahrens at the University of Indian and Arabic Union.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, everyone.
So, Dr. Seller, can you explain us the problem?
Of course. Basically, the conflict between Australian Empire and Arabic Indian Union is a product of the Day of Judgment and the Third World War. In academics, we say that it is the only problem that is left in our world. Since the 2060s, our relationship with the Australian Empire has never been really mediated. And this confrontation is just another peak of a wave of conflicts.
Many people think that a possible Fourth World War may erupt. Based on your political and historical knowledge, Professor Ahrens, what do you think will happen?
Well, Sarah, I personally don't believe that there will be a Fourth World War. If we look at our relationship with Australia and compare it to the relationship between Russia and America before the Third World War, it seems of like an unsolvable problem in relationship. But it's different nowadays. There's only 2 countries in the world, Australia and us. It would absolutely make no sense for us to fight each other.
That makes sense. Throughout the history, visible conflicts are not the triggers of wars. If we review the first 20 years of our century, we could hardly imagine that World War III would break out between Russia and China, and we could hardly imagine that a region full of conflicts, Middle East, could form a union during World War III.
I mean, I will have to interrupt you here, but Russia and China are both countries that are non-existent today. And I think our audience needs an explanation. Professor Ahrens, can you offer us some?
Yes, would you mind if I take 3 minutes?
Of course.
So basically, before the Third World War, there were 4 major powers. There was America, which was the strongest power. There was America's ally, the United States of Europe. And there was Russia and China, both ambitious and greedy.
Only Russia and China? I think all of them were greedy, Professor Aris.
That is very true. So Russia and China started fighting over natural gases.
Also for territory.
Also for territory. They started using nuclear weapons, and then America got involved.
When China was already destroyed.
Yes, when China was already destroyed. So when America joined the war, it seemed like the outcome would be predictable.
However,
The United States of Europe betrayed America.
Whoa, how come Europe betrayed America?
The United States of Europe had a secret peace treaty with Russia. So when America attacked, the United States of Europe did not help.
here comes the shocking part, which everybody already knows about. Unexpected and terrible volcanic eruptions broke out in America.
This is the day that we know as the Day of Judgment. June 6, 2046. Random volcanic eruptions occurred in North America in a park called Yellowstone. Within a matter of months, all of North and South America was destroyed by volcanoes. Asia was attacked by tsunamis, horrible tsunamis that wiped out their entire population. The only place left untouched by natural disaster was the country in southern hemisphere, Australia.
Wait, how about Russia? How about Grand Europe?
Plague.
Mysterious plague.
It's thought that this plague was brought on by the volcanic dust from the eruptions in America. Everyone in Europe was getting the plague, freaking out, trying to go places where the plague had not yet reached. This was Australia, Africa, and what would become the Arabic Indian Union. Eventually, Africa and the Arabic Indian Union put up barriers so people could not come through and get them sick. Actually, my grandparents got through before, and it was extremely lucky.
Oh, that was really lucky.
It was extremely lucky. But actually, when my grandparents came through, they got divorced, and my grandfather got with this Turkish chick.
Oh, really? From which part of Turkey? From Austrian part or from Saudi Arabian part?
It was actually the Greek part.
Oh, how nice.
Excuse me, can I interrupt here? Can we go back to today's topic?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Where were we?
I think the plague killed Africa.
Oh yes. The plague killed Africa, which was extremely sad because people thought they could go to Africa to be safe. But unfortunately, they were wrong. So, in the end, the Americas had been destroyed by volcanoes. Asia had been destroyed by tsunamis. Everywhere was ravaged by nuclear warfare, and the plague had killed millions. All of these places are what we now call the land of savage. So, to come back to my point, I personally do not believe that there will be a fourth world war. I think our governments will look and see how close our species once came to extinction and reconsider before we start killing each other again.
As an officer of Salvation Institution, I totally agree with what Professor said.
Thank you.
Even though we are almost at war with the Australian Empire, we never cut contact with our counterparts in Australia. And also, we are working in more and more areas. For example, when they found out the volcanic eruptions in America might have been caused by a Russian hydrogen bomb, they informed us. And we found out that the plague in Europe and Africa might have been caused by a biological weapon. We gave them updates too.
So just to be clear, both of you have positive understanding of this whole issue and its resolvement.
Yes and no. What I'm saying is that visible conflicts may not be triggers of wars. Sometimes invisible and potential conflicts are greater threats. And sometimes those conflicts may not be between our countries. It can be within our country.
I don't quite understand. Explanation of that?
Of course. So the gathering of religious leaders in Jerusalem will be my example. As you know, after the Day of Judgment, we went through a technological and a religious crisis. Science became the only belief that people held for a long time. However, such belief is challenged in the last few years. New Islam is born, which is totally fine. We call it religious renaissance. But the thing that people should be mindful about is some religious leaders claim to be new prophets and then they say they have new messages from God. It is dangerous. I doubt the motivation behind such declaration.
Now that you said that, I want to bring your focus on another point. There have been some really popular conspiracy theories recently that there might be secrets in the land of savage, that actual war might not be going on. What do you think about those things?
I am not interested in crazy ideas. As long as I'm happy, I'm enjoying my life, who cares if there are mysteries in the land of savage? Who cares if we are being ruled by robots? They are fine. My concern is the conspiracies that can change the current situation. The ones that are threatening our country. The ones that are stealing happiness from our people and our country. That is what I mean.
That is an absolutely beautiful point.
Thank you, Professor.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for your excellent comments
Thank you.
and analysis.
Thank you.
And thank you to the audience as well. This is the end of today's Focus On. Please stay with Channel 1.
Thank you, guys. Next piece is prizes. Please stay in the auditorium. And yeah.
Yeah.
there's prizes.
So we're going to take a brief intermission here really quick. We have two remaining pieces. Mine, it's entitled Eurydice. It tells the story of an ancient Greek myth between Orpheus and Eurydice. So take about 5-10 minutes and we'll be back on stage and ready to go. Thank you guys.
Thank you.